Good morning, good morning, good morning. We in here, right? We made it. It's Monday morning. Another another winning weekend, so can't complain. The crazy weekend of college football. We missed it yesterday. Buckeye BS. We were all here. Had some, some quality talk about the defense, the offense, and all that. So they were going to do grades, but first, let me give my shout out in the morning. And Posh was first one this morning. So shout out Posh. I don't think she been first before. This is the first time in history.
Think that's the first.
The first, hey, just beating out Terry for the morning shout out. The morning Posh, appreciate you. Appreciate you holding us down the timeline and all that. Ron, how you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. I am off today, so that's always a good thing. I got like 50 reminders from my alarm, like, hey, it's a holiday tomorrow. Are you sure you want to wake up at this time? I'm like, I don't want to, but I have a show to do. So we are here despite it being a holiday and I'm off work. So once this show wraps, your boy will be crawling right back into bed and going to sleep.
Yeah, I'm not off, so forget you.
Well, your company needs to be more woke and give you off for Indigenous People Day. So shout out to them.
And also, yes, Mitch, I look tired. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm supposed to be up and at 'em. No, I'm hella tired, but I show up probably every other morning on time, ready to go, ready to do the show. So yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of a recap on the game this weekend. So we're gonna do some grades. We didn't do that yesterday, so we'll handle that. But be on the lookout. Obviously, Buckeye BS is every Sunday. If you missed it, go check that out. We got a Bleacher Report this week. Ron and Chris should be holding it down yet again. Which days y'all
We will
got
be
Bleacher Report?
we will be live on Bleacher Report today at 2 p.m.
Today at 2 p.m. So people should be off. So set your alarm clocks and go in there and let's blow that show up. Also, two coming this week. The Fans Edge, Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central Time. Dogs Film Room will be around, and all that other good stuff leading up to the college football pregame show on Saturday. So, I think that's all we got. So make sure you tune into those. That subscriber, we're now chasing what 6K, I guess. So next thing.
I think the next big one we'll celebrate will be 10K. I don't know if we're celebrating every 1,000 on our way to 10K, but
Every
we are
10.
getting there, man. We crossed 5K. Big thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel, that supported us on all of the shows that we've done around here. So big thank you to all of you guys. Without you, it wouldn't be possible, and it keeps us waking up every morning to do this. So yeah, 5K, big milestone. Tons of content coming. Fans Edge on Wednesday, Dogs Film Room, bunch of Bleacher Report appearances, but we're here for the Buckeye roast. So let's just jump right into these grades. Before we even go position by position, man, coming out of that game, how would you grade the Buckeyes just overall?
As a team,
No, as a sports car. If Ohio
yes, that's a
State's was a
sports
sports car, how
car.
would you grade them?
Sports
Yes, as a
car,
team.
B plus. I know I said that so I could think about what grade I would put in. It wasn't a question. um, B minus. B minus. I think coming out of that game, I thought the defense played. Damn, Mike, A minus. All right, I don't know who you watched Saturday. I thought the defense played extremely well. I thought the offense played good for a half. There was a half there where they were abysmal, damn near. So I would say B minus. Kyle picked it up in the second half. I thought Marv showed up and showed out for a good percentage of the game. I thought he actually played pretty well. Yeah, so I didn't have much complaints outside. Really, the linebackers, they were not good, and the offense very slow to get started. But I give it a B minus.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Again, I feel like this is another one of those games where it's hard to criticize them. I mean, they had only given up 10 points at halftime and ended up only giving up 17 the entire game. I thought coming into the game, my prediction was that Maryland would score at least 24. So again, I can't come in and overly criticize the defense. When I said coming into the game, I expected them to give up 24 points and they only give up 17. And that seems to have been the magical number. Me and Chris talked about that number with Notre Dame, that if Ohio State's able to hold teams under 17 points, they're going to win. But I don't know how realistic that's going to be as the competition continues to ramp up. And that's one of my concerns going forward. It's like, can this team score points if they have to? We've yet to be forced into a shootout, and I'm interested to see how they respond. But in this game, they handled business. A defensive touchdown was the only scoring that we saw in the first half. You'd like to see this offense, especially coming out of a bye, be able to get on track. You would think with the scripted plays early in the game, they would be able to get rolling, but it was a slow start for them, but then they picked it up in the second half. You've seen Proctor get on the board with a touchdown. Marv bounced back. Cade looking like Mr. Reliable. Only 2 catches, but 66 yards and a touchdown. So that was much needed. Marv back on track with 163 yards and a touchdown. Overall, it was frustrating to see the slow start in the first half. But when this defense is playing the way it does, it's just like at some point 6 weeks into the season, I'm just going to have to accept the identity of this team. And we're not going to see some explosive offense that comes up and hangs, 35 on a team in the first half. And then it's just like, feet up on the coffee table the rest of the game as you start to look to see who else might get upset throughout college football because your game's in bag. So, overall, B minus, you'd like to see more, but again, me and Chris Drew talked about it on Bleacher Report last week. Is Maryland part of the Big Four this year? Like, if you're adding a third team if you're adding a fourth team to the best teams in the conference with Michigan, Penn State, and Ohio State, is Maryland that fourth team? So, to see them come out there, get the dub, hold them under 20 points, overall, you can't complain. But when you're have national championship aspirations, there's obviously things that you see throughout the game that you would like to see improve.
Yeah, judging against, obviously biggest competition, I think Maryland's a solid team, then they should be ranked up probably in the 20s. I think they're very solid when it comes to Ohio State and championship aspirations. I'm gonna think eventually this offense is going to have to be able to consistently put up points and not have slow halves, because that's just sort of the name of the game. When Nick Saban said it, defenses don't really win championships no more. You got to go out and score people and sort of change the identity of Alabama football to they're going to put up 30 and have defense flying around. And things have never kind of set back since then. So eventually his offense is going to have to get it together. Let's hope Jim knows that the defense continues to hold out. I'm super impressed with the secondary play, obviously, because that was Maryland's game. They were going to run 4 wide. They had a little bit of success, but obviously it was in favorable matchups for them, which they're going to get some. There's no way you're going to come out and just lock down across the board unless you have 3 first-round corners like we did in 2019. So this is going to happen, but the secondary continues to impress. Guys look good out there, and that being the strength of the defense, you're cool with that, especially in this day and age of college football. Because, teams are just going to be like, let's air it out. You don't expect somebody to run down our throats for more than maybe 1 touchdown drive a game.
I don't expect anyone to run down my throat, but that you're a different person.
Our collective. I'm not alone. So, I'm happy where this defense is at. I just think, some play has to be better. We gotta know where that's at. But overall, they're playing well. They're playing well.
So do you want to go position by position on offense or defense? And do you want to start with offense or defense?
Yeah. Let's. Are we picking one or the other? We're doing both.
I think we can knock out both in 30 minutes here.
All right, let's start with offense. Let's go.
All righty. Let's start in the obvious place. Running back. How would you grade the running backs?
I thought it was okay on Saturday. I haven't been able to see the 22 film yet, so I don't know if it's more offensive line or running back. There was kind of a little lack of productivity there, but I would get Chip in the crew. I'm gonna give him a B minus for now. Give him a B minus for now. I didn't think he was bad by any stretch, any means. Obviously saw a little bit of mine at the end there, but obviously the offensive line was not well on Saturday, and I think I know that regardless before seeing that film or not. So I'm gonna give the running backs B minus for now. I'll see if there was anything extra there later on in the week.
I'll give them a C. I mean, they say C is average, and I'm would say we even were a little bit below average. Ryan Day has harped on the need for 4 yards per carry from all backs. Looking at the box score, we saw 3.1 from Trey, 3.8 from Mayan. Wasn't thoroughly impressed by really anything that I saw from Mayan getting back out there after really being in the doghouse for most of the season. Chip finally got his start that everyone has been clamoring for, screaming from the mountaintops that Chip should be RB1. We finally see it. We get 20 carries for 3.1 yards and 60 yards. So I feel like we saw a little bit out there that, like, while Chip is great, there is value to the balance in that they have with this running back rotation. I'm excited to get him back into the lineup, but I would go with a C plus because I mean, I try to hold these teams to I try to hold these coaches to the words that they tell us, and when they tell us what the standard is and what they're looking for and what they're expecting, I would imagine they're communicating that same thing to the players. So I would expect that same standard to be held. So when they say they want 4 yards per carry, I mean, I can't give them above average grade if they're not even hitting what they're saying they want as a minimum. So I will go with a C plus.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
see. I keep seeing Tommy's name in the chat. I'm like, we're gonna get to defense.
I
He
also
plays defense.
we'll get to him. I also do not blame, even though Mike does this all the time, or Travion Henderson will run right into a brick wall. And he'll be like, "Man, he should have pushed the pile and got 5 more yards." Like, Mike, it's not possible. Like, yes, sometimes you can punch it maybe for another yard, but no, you're not running through 4 guys when the defense fly for an extra 5 yards. It does not happen, and we saw that from Chip. He ran right into that brick wall on Saturday, and then she did not move. So now maybe he'll be more lenient with other backs.
So I guess we'll move on to tight ends. Not much contribution from any tight ends outside of Cade Stover, 2 catches, 66 yards, 1 touchdown. I've seen a lot of praise for Cade's blocking improving over the past few games on the timeline. So I have to give him his credit where credit is due. I mean, I've been super critical of Cade in the offseason, and each week he comes in and does his job week in and week out. So I just have to applaud him for that because that consistency, it's to the point where you know what you're going to get from Cade. And if you're expecting anything more than that at this point, that's a you problem. And what he does is he comes in and performs. He does what's asked from him. And I feel like he's making more contributions in the past game this year than I ever anticipated. And he's making improvements blocking week in and week out. So hats off to Cade. Would like to see G get involved more. But, I mean, overall, they did their jobs. So I give them what was the did I give a grade? I don't think
No,
so.
not yet. Go ahead.
I think the grade is a B plus. I mean, 2 catches, 66 yards, and a touchdown. When you do, I mean, even if you're not gonna have a ton of catches, when you do show up, you make a big play. So, shouts out to Cade, B plus for the tight ends.
Yeah, I was gonna go with a B. Obviously, Cade's always seems to be open. I don't know, teams just be like, F it. Like we're just not gonna guard him and just leave him streaking across the middle. He just finds a way to continue to contribute, which is a good thing. I mean, if I'm a team, I know Kyle's gonna do his reads like, so I'm blanking the K the whole time. Like, nah, I ain't gonna be no outlet on this squad. But he finds a way to get open. So a true pro out here. I'll give him a solid B. Would still like to see the tight ends a little bit more not evolved, good lord. Yeah, evolved and involved. I think with the wide receivers leaving a little something to be desired early in the season. You got K, you got G Scott, you got Joe Royer, who's been cooking on the bench a little bit this season. I think all those guys can get open, given the opportunity. So, and they scheme up K pretty well every game. So I would love to see more usage out of the tight ends. But I'm gonna give it a B for now. It's not on the tight ends, on the coaches, and let's roll from there.
Wide receiver. right back to you. Where would you start? Where would you grade the wide receivers this game? We have Marvin Harrison Jr., 8 catches, 163 yards, 1 touchdown. Julian Fleming, 2 catches, 45 yards, and no touchdowns. Emeka, 3 catches for 40 yards. XJ, 1 for 12. Carnell got in the action with 1 catch for 8 yards at the end of the game.
Yeah, this is strictly the Marvin Harrison Jr. game alone. I don't see the thing. I gotta look back at it because I think Kyle left a lot to be desired, and that is not necessarily on the wide receiver room. So I don't want to criticize it for that. Marvin Harrison Jr. should have had obviously a couple touchdowns there. That should have been a 90-yard touchdown where he underthrew him by a mile.
What about Julian's should have been touchdown? Chris Drew asked me for touchdown scores on Bleacher Report last week, and you know who I said? Cade Stover and Julian Fleming. And I almost hit, man. Could you imagine the odds I would have been able to get on that parlay pregame if I had any time touchdown scores? Julian Fleming and Cade Stover.
Yeah, that underthrow was not in my mind, and now I remember that underthrow as well. I would give the wide receivers a B+, man. I thought Marv came in and was just like, yeah, I'm Marvin Harrison Jr. I just remembered, so I'm just going to go out here and ball out. They really can't stop me. Yeah, Julian should have had a touchdown. Marv should have had 2. So I will give them a B+. Hopefully Emeka's okay. Let's not have him returning, punts anymore or taking big shots. We need him later in the season. We need all hands on deck. So I'm going to give them a B+. I thought this is where you finally seem like, okay, zone 6, showing up, playing well. So I'm going with that.
Yeah, I'll give them a B. I would have liked to see a little bit more explosion when Emeka went out. This is wide receiver. You shouldn't really see much of a drop off, but I do love the fact that we remembered, we have the best wide receiver in the country. Maybe we should just throw the ball at him and see what happens regularly. So that mindset creeping in of hey, let's just Alabama, 2020, 2019, whatever hell Maury Cooper was there. It felt like they threw him the ball every play. It was it's first down, let's throw him a screen. Oh, it's second down, let's throw a slant. Up in there, he's gone. It's just they constantly force fed him the ball he was a power back or something. They just found ways to get him the ball. And I feel like Ohio State, when this offense starts slow, I don't know why we're waiting till the third quarter to remember that we have the son of a Hall of Famer and a potential generational wide receiver. Let's just find ways to get him the ball. And I feel that's something that we should do going forward. Maybe they're avoiding force feeding Marv because they don't want him getting hit or getting hurt, and they're just trying to get out of these games with a win. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. Like I said earlier in the show, I don't know if it's just time for me to accept the fact that we're not going to be that explosive hang 50 on you type of offense, and as long as we're winning the games, because here and I gave the wide receivers a B, and I guess it's time to just rip off the Band-Aid and jump right into quarterback. And it's I'm trying to find a balance of is Kyle McCord doing exactly what's asked of him as far as don't turn the ball over. If it's not there, don't fumble, don't try to overextend the play, don't force something into coverage, and just get off the field and live to fight another day and just stay in the game long enough to get a win. And I feel like that's what we've been doing the past couple weeks. So it's okay, it may not look the way that I want to, but at the end of the day, yeah, we didn't score an offensive touchdown in the first half, but we also didn't turn the ball over, and we didn't do anything on offense horrifically that put them in a position to go ahead. And when you have a defense playing the way ours is, that's honestly the most important thing to win the game. The fact that we're not giving the ball to the other team. So it's hard to be uber critical of Kyle despite wanting to see more production early and want to see you look at the box score at the end of the game, 312 yards, 2 touchdowns. You look at it and it's whoa, what more do you want from him? It's I don't know, maybe a touchdown in the first half. I'm just saying. So I give him a B-. I wanted to, coming out of the game, if we would have done this, I'd have given him a D+, emotional in the moment. But when you sit back and reflect, it's well, you didn't turn the ball over. And for the most part, he's winning games. And I'm starting to get to the point where am I going to be looking back at myself wow, you didn't enjoy Kyle McCord national championship run because it didn't look the way that you wanted to. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm sitting back thinking, like, okay, if we win games like this the rest of the year and say Ohio State wins a national championship, are there going to be people that are like, man, we won the national championship, but could you imagine what it would have looked like with Devin Brown as quarterback? Like, I don't want to like set that precedent at week 6 that like it's never going to be good enough. Like, while he didn't explode and it wasn't a crazy performance, I give it a B. I see B minus is crazy. Terry, you go ahead and tell me what grade you would give our quarterback in a 20-point cover against the fourth best conference opponent. Let me know. Q, how about your grade?
Ron, ain't no way in the hell you just went on that soliloquy of you gonna join a Kyle McCord natty just because it looks the way you didn't, or it doesn't look the way you want it to look like. I think there's no chance in hell this team wins a natty with Kyle McCord currently playing at the level he's playing. I think I just rewatched Notre Dame game again last night. Kyle is leaving a lot on the plate to be desired. He has the ability to do so. He comes in and he makes. It's the crazy thing too, is you'll see Kyle play a lot of average to almost like, damn, how'd you miss that? And then you see the throw to Marv on the sideline where it's like, damn, you can't throw it any better than that. Where was that? Anywhere in the first half when dudes are streaking wide open. So heavily critical on Kyle. I don't think we can win a shootout like this.
Since you're heavily critical and B wasn't critical enough, I would imagine he's no higher than a D+ yesterday.
I wouldn't give it a D+. But
then how is it? No, then how? Wait, then how am I so off base with a B-? And you're saying that he was so much worse? There's absolutely no way he's within one letter grade. If it was so bad, it couldn't be close to a B-. So you're telling me, so either
I didn't say it could be close. I said there's no way in the hell we win a national championship.
No. You just said that it was drastically worse. So I want to know what
I didn't say drastically.
I said B-, and you're telling me it's a what? What grade is it?
I'm saying it's a C.
It's a C. So we're talking, if I'm giving him a B-, we're talking within 6 percentage points as far as a grading scale. I feel like what we're saying and what we're grading is, because when you think about it, I say a B-, which is, I feel like is almost reasonable. I'm seeing C+ is C-. I mean, if the way you're talking, it sounds like he played like a D.
He didn't play well in the first half. He did solid in the second half. Guys are still running wide the fuck open. Yeah, he didn't play great. C is very average. Yes, he played average at best. And can he win a national championship playing at this level? No, he cannot. The name of the game, as I said earlier, is you're going to have to come up and score points. You're going to have to come up and put up 35-40 in a national championship game to win it. I mean, I don't expect this defense to hold people to 17 points all season. It's just not going to happen. There's going to be a game where they're going to start to give up points. And when you get later down the stretch against these good teams, you're going to have to score. Every year in college football, when you end out the season, teams are putting up points to win a national championship. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's going to be a national championship run with Kyle playing. If he plays like this going throughout the season, there's maybe a loss, maybe 2 on the schedule. Possible. So I think he has to continue to up his game. Was he abysmal on Saturday? No, he wasn't abysmal.
So what stat line would have got you a B, since we're at 312 yards and 2 touchdowns with no turnovers in a 20-point cover against the 4th best team in the country? I mean, in the conference. So like what would have been the standard for you to get above a C with 300 yards and 2 touchdowns and no turnovers?
I would have gave him a B if he had hit one of them open touchdowns that he missed. One of those, and I'm like, okay, you really only missed one big throw and a few throws down there in the first half. I probably would have gave him a B. Missing 2 open touchdowns, that's a letter grade for you. So that probably would have got him to a B-, B, right around that range. I've been like, okay, well, he didn't really miss any throws that would have cost us if Maryland put up points, but he missed 2 that really would have cost us if Maryland put up points. So that probably would have got him to a B in my standard.
And what about that throw on the sidelines? That doesn't give you any. That doesn't give you any hope. That doesn't.
That was
help
a great
anything?
throw. That was a great throw, and I give him credit for that. I said that throw shit. You're not gonna throw it any better than that. And the other ones, I mean, Cade was running by himself across. There was Marv for his touchdown was damn near running by. Maryland didn't even move. They did their best Ohio State linebacker impressions and said, "Oh shit, there goes Marv." So, hey, I mean, damn near anybody in college football starting quarterback at the Power 5 level can make that throw. I'm not going to go wild for that. I thought in the second half, he was pretty accurate. Guys were pretty open. I mean, it weren't, besides the Marv throw, it's not like he was really dotting people up. I mean, guys were open. He hit them. That's pretty routine for Ohio State. So
can't box score, watch, and grade. It was evidence during the game that he wasn't playing that good. No, he wasn't. He underthrew a lot of passes, but at the end of the day, when are we going to stop grading Kyle McCord on the standard of comparing him to CJ Stroud every week, or just grading him for the job that he's doing is winning games as the Ohio State quarterback and not turning the ball over?
I mean, I don't think we can lower the standard to win games and not turn the ball over. I mean, we had JT.
No, but like we're talking about lower. He 65% completion percentage, no turnovers. Yes, some of the passes were underthrown, but did he hit them? Were they so underthrown that they were intercepted? Were they so underthrown that we weren't able to finish the drives? Were they so underthrown that they were going incomplete? No. So like, yeah. Could he be better? Absolutely. But like this idea that like it's just crazy because I feel like I'm almost being gaslit because I give him a B- and I'm critical and acknowledge all the things that he did. And everybody's like, oh, you're giving him too much credit. It's so much worse. Oh, well, what do you give him? A C. Like if you don't that's what you say. You want to be critical of my assessment, but then you want to get the same because you don't want to be on wax. You don't want to be on wax being uber critical. Put the actual grade on the words that you're putting on the performance because you're saying C, but you're talking like he had an F performance or a D performance. That's what I'm saying. You're towing the line.
Performance. What I said was there is no way at this current level I'm saying, oh, we enjoy a championship run and Kyle didn't play like I wanted him to play. I don't think it's possible.
Did I say we're going to have a championship run? I said I don't want to get to a point where we have a championship run and say, wow, we're overcritical. Because I'm asking, at what point do we accept, like, he's not CJ, but we're winning?
Bro, it's not him against CJ. He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks we've seen. But we do have a standard of Ohio State quarterback play. We have a standard now. Ryan Day's come in and up the standard. People be criticizing the hell out of JT if he as much stats as JT put up, he would criticize the hell out of him.
Lying. We would be criticizing JT Barrett for a 312-yard passing.
If he was missing underthrowing touchdowns, yes.
Out of here, JT Barrett. We would criticize JT Barrett for a 300-yard passing game. Get the fuck out of here. We can move on to the next one.
Bro,
that is bullshit.
An all-time
bullshit.
And people were
bullshit. We would not. JT Barrett. We would criticize JT Barrett for a 300-yard passing game.
Bro, JT's an all-time stat leader. People have been on his head. People have been on his head because
300-yard passing.
Haskins in 2017, we might win a natty. What are we talking about?
300-yard passing? Find me the 300-yard passing game that JT Barrett looked bad in. Find me a 300-yard passing game and an article where he's criticized. Just find me one. Find me a post-game article where he was criticized for a 300-yard passing game. Find it for me.
No one has criticized JT in his play.
Find the game for me. 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 You're telling me it happened. Find the game. Tell me. We do the show 5 days a week. You come back tomorrow.
You go on
come
Twitter.
back tomorrow with the game.
Telling me you go on Twitter.
With the game. You're telling me it happened.
It was not a game. It was over
You're telling me it happened.
Career.
I'm talking about right now.
Bro,
he's 6 games into his career.
He's
6 games into his career. You're talking about 2017. 3 years as a starter.
Bro, JT played for 5 years.
You're talking about 3 years in.
No one criticizes JT? You're telling me no one criticized JT all that time saying
after a 300-yard performance? After a 300-yard performance. That's what I'm asking you from the context.
Career.
You just compared JT. You just talked about 2017, JT's third year in the program as a starter. As a starter. You're comparing a quarterback to someone 20-plus games into their career.
What does that have to do with anything? What I'm saying, JT left a lot to be desired. Kyle is leaving a lot to be desired at quarterback play currently.
6 games into his career.
It doesn't matter if it's 1 game into his career. People will CJ had after the Oregon game.
Okay. Got it. Offensive
So we
line.
can't criticize him until we lose, and then we're going to look back and be
we can't criticize him and then toe the line and be like, but I give him a C+.
Toe the line. If he plays well, we'll say he plays well. It's like Steele and Tommy. If they play well, we say they fucking play well. If they play like shit, we're going to be like, they play like shit. I can't criticize Kyle McCord after a game because he threw him.
No, if you're going to criticize him, criticize him. Don't talk about him like he had the worst game ever and then be like, but I gave him a C+.
About him as he had the worst game ever. I said at this current level he's playing at right now, I don't believe we will look back and say, oh shit, Kyle McCord didn't play like we wanted him to play, but we won a natty. I do not believe we can win a natty with him playing at the current level he's playing against the vaunted Maryland defense. Okay. I'm sorry. Is Maryland the Georgia defenses in the Big Ten? I don't believe so. I think we're going to roll into Penn State and Michigan with a lot better secondaries and a lot better defenses. That's not the standard. Against Maryland?
Ohio State's not winning the natty. You heard it here first. Offensive line grades. Q. Go ahead. Let us know.
Who we got? Offensive line?
Yeah.
The offensive line was not good on Saturday. Not good. I don't know.
Well, Kyle with 300 yards and 2 touchdowns was not good, and no turnovers, and the offensive line was not good. I couldn't see anything higher than an F-, but go ahead.
I give him an F+. No, I'll probably give him a D+, man. They were not good at all. They were not good. Maybe probably even a D. They were not good at all on Saturday. Offensive line was definitely the fish. So I will give them a D. They got to be better, and I know they have the ability to be better. Again, on Notre Dame game, I thought they played pretty solid, but I believe Notre Dame's trenches would have to be better than Maryland. So I'd probably go with D, maybe D+ at best.
Yeah, I think they left much to be desired. I think that's why we saw the struggles in the run game. We saw them give up 3 sacks. It's just weird. This offensive line just seems constantly confused out there. I say it week in and week out. I've yet to see one of our offensive linemen just get thrown on their ass or just pushed back. You just see them blocking into each other, not blocking the right man. It's just weird what we're seeing out there. I give them, I don't know, a D- for the way they played. It's just frustrating. You expect see, I'm glad someone else said it. Bro, Q grading scale is a little off. That's what I'm saying. He said his grades don't match what he's saying, and that's the thing that's irritating the fuck out of me because it's one thing to completely criticize and then say C because you don't want to be like Kyle McCord gave a D performance and actually stand on what you're saying. So that's what my frustration is. Fucking criticize and give a grade, give the grade, and have the nuts to stand on what your words are actually saying. So I give them a D-. I don't think they played well, but yeah, I feel like if we don't Melo said the O-line is going to kill us. I feel like us not being able to run the ball is more of an impediment to this offense than quarterback play right now. I think if we can get this offensive line playing, we'll see everyone play better, quarterback, wide receiver, running back, all of them. I feel like the problems start with the offensive line, and hopefully they can get things together. But we are 33 minutes in. I thought we were going to do offense and defense, but your boy has a nap scheduled for 9 o'clock, so we are going to be wrapping this up here. Q, let the people know where they could find you before we get out of here.
Well, if you want to know where you get the authentic Kyle McCord takes, well, he'll be graded as he should have.
He's graded on a fucking curve, but go ahead.
He's not on the curve. I gave him a C.
That's what I'm saying. You sat and fucking talked about him the same way you talked about the defense. You just said you talked about Kyle in the same way you talked about the offensive line and gave them a fucking 20% swinging percentage on their grade.
I gave him a D. You gave him a D-.
Yeah, because I said the offensive line stunk. Significantly worse than what Kyle played.
We were closer with the offensive line than we were with Kyle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There was a gulf in between them. That's why there's a gulf in between my grades.
There's a gulf in between mine, too. Kyle got a C. The offensive line got a D. It's a whole grade.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a wider margin right there. Yeah, see Boy Quinn on Twitter, y'all. Find us on Instagram, Minor League Films, pretty much everywhere. But you'll find me in Buckeye Roast every morning, 5 a.m.
You can find me on Twitter at 2Ts2_TEES. You can find me on Bleacher Report today with Chris Drew at 2 p.m. I don't know what we're talking about, something regarding Ohio State. Make sure you pull up. Keep an eye out for the graphic. I'll let you know when we find out. So, yeah,
Why
tap in
Ohio
on.
State is the natty favorite.
Yeah, why Cal McCord is the Heisman frontrunner is actually going to be our topic on Bleacher Report today. So make sure you tune in tomorrow for the Buckeye Roast. We'll be grading the defense. You could see, I'm sure everyone's waiting to hear our grades on the linebackers. You guys are just going to have to wait one more day for that one. But make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe on the video. Do your best Doreen impression. Share it on the timeline. Tell a friend. Like it with your dog's video. Or with your dog's YouTube. Do whatever you got to do. Run these likes up. We appreciate you guys for tuning into the Buckeye Roast, and we will be back tomorrow. Go Bucks and OH.
Yo.